Well, normally I would search out a reason to talk to our next guest. I don't have to do that this afternoon. Al Coates, the former general manager of the Calgary Flames, to name a couple of NHL squad, and a man with a couple of rings from winning a championship or two, and also working for Hockey Canada, joins us this afternoon. Coatesy, how are you, sir?
I'm really, really good, thanks. And how are you, Mr. Kerr? Good?
Well, any better I'd be twins. I mean, it's game day, Al. It's never better than a game day, right?
Of course, you got your game day face on. I can see it over the phone. Nice.
I do indeed. I'm gonna save my hockey question for you because I want to get to the important stuff. But I got a hockey question for you here once we get through what I think is a really neat endeavor. Tell us what FedEx is up to on Saturday, what you're here to talk about, and how people can help a great cause.
Well, kudos to them and the Calgary Flames. This is a sponsorship deal that the Flames have with FedEx, and this is the way FedEx activating it, the sponsorship. There's a couple of components to this. One is there's a very generous $75,000 donation being made by FedEx to Skate Canada. What's it called? Great to Skate. Sorry.
Skate to Great. Yeah.
Skate to Great. Yeah, one or the other. So that is really important. But from our perspective, and just on that note, Comrie Sports Equipment Bank is getting $5,000 donation to Comrie. So thank you, FedEx, for that. The other component, though, which is really important, and you and I have talked about this before, Comrie Sports Equipment Bank has been open now 16, 17 months. And for those who don't know exactly what this is, we take in what we call gently used equipment. It is refurbished if necessary, put through a sanitizing machine, and then Russell Gillespie and the great volunteers we have at the warehouse work with agencies like Kidsport, just to name one, for example, and we turn around and give away equipment to kids that otherwise couldn't afford to play. And so the end result has been nearly 700 kids top to bottom outfitted since we opened that warehouse, and something in the excess of 8,000 individual pieces of equipment have gone through the doors there. So it's really something that demonstrates the need, and we all know what's going on in southern Alberta and Alberta in general right now, so the need is ever increasing. And so this opportunity on Saturday is for people to drop off in the morning, 10 to 12, during the inside the building. What will be going on is the morning skates of both the Flames and Senators, likely. Never can speak for the visiting team. And then again at night at game time. So there's locations around the building and to bring used equipment. And this will kind of stock us back up again. Russell and the people at the warehouse stock us back up again and get ready for the spring rush.
So FedEx will have a delivery truck, and here are the locations. It will be at the wheelchair entrance in the morning from 10 a.m. till noon, and then the west and northeast entrances of the dome at game time, 5:30 to 8:30. And again, Al, we're encouraging fans to come in the morning. They can come and watch practice, but drop off equipment, or if they're coming to the game night, if they've got tickets, skates, gloves, pads, as you said, gently. But you can pretty much use everything when it comes to hockey and figure skating, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, what we try to tell people is that, if you think you're going to throw something out, don't give it to us, because that's exactly what we got to do. But Calgarians and Southern Albertans have been so generous with this process, and the equipment that we've received has been 95% really, really good stuff, like a year, 2 years old. Somebody's grown out of it. Maybe somebody decided to stop playing goal, for example. And we all know how expensive goaltending equipment is, so that is always really, really welcome. And then the other thing that we're doing now is we're there at the shop is that we're getting into another activity, like soccer is right around the corner. So again, we can use soccer shoes and the shin pads, etc., to play yet another game. We're primarily interested in hockey and have been since we've been open, but we also recognize the need of a couple of other sports.
So we want to encourage everybody. Saturday, if you're coming to the game or you're going to come watch practice, bring your used equipment. You can donate it. It will go to the Comrie Sports Equipment Bank. It will get cleaned up. And as Al, you talked about, they're great partners, like Kids Sport, who we support on this station a lot. There's all kinds of groups that are able to access that equipment through their agency. So it's getting into the hands of kids who can really need it. And I like how you put it. It's time to top up the equipment bank a little bit here so we can really use some of this gear and some of these skates.
Yeah, for sure. And the one thing that we do, and maybe just clarify this, we make sure that the new helmets go out with every set of equipment, because just from a pure safety standpoint, we don't take chances on that. So that's the one thing that maybe people can just be mindful of when they're bringing their equipment is we can use them for some casual skating potentially with some people, but it's not something that we would turn around and distribute as part of a full set of equipment back out to a youngster or a family.
And the folks at FedEx want you to know that you can simply text SKATE, SKATE, to 41010, 41010. You can make a cash donation, and if you do that, you can win a pair of tickets to the Flame Senators game on that night at 8 o'clock. We are in conversation with Al Coates. We are talking about this Saturday's game, Calgary and Ottawa, and an opportunity for people to help both the Skate to Great program and the Comrie Sports Equipment Bank, as FedEx is. I mean, great donation. $75,000 is terrific, and $5,000 of that to go here in Calgary to the Comrie Sports Equipment Bank. But we're looking for equipment. Al, we'll come back and hit it one more time. But before I do that, I said I had a hockey question for you. As you know, it's that time of year again with the trade deadline right around the corner. Any fond memories as a general manager of this time of the year? Is this something that got you excited? Is this a time of year you dreaded? Do you miss being part of a trade deadline?
Well, I think it's really exciting. I think, and I saw a comment made by Lou Lamoriello the other day when first of all, they traded Phaneuf a couple of weeks ago to kind of get ahead of the frenzy. But even like last Sunday, the deal that they made, he was never a believer, nor was I, on waiting till the very last minute to see what you might be able to do to help your team. I think most teams at least, are in different situations, and going into the deadline, I mean, if you're in the running and you think you got a chance, in most cases, the players in the room are asking you, how are you helping us, to get there, so to speak. And then there's all the other scenarios where people are, like Toronto, for example, it's all about the future for them. I think they're sitting with 12 draft picks now in the upcoming entry draft based on the deals that they've made so far, and there's certainly, I wouldn't think they're done yet. So there's a number of teams in the league like that. The teams that I think have anxious moments are teams sitting with people who are going to become unrestricted free agents at the end of the conclusion of the year, and whether or not they need those players to help them get in the playoffs or not, and you're really running the gambit because maybe you keep them and you still don't get in. So it's a very interesting time of year for both players, coaches, management, trainers, and everybody involved, for sure.
Al, what's your thought or your observation on what is now? I mean, this used to be a pressure point. This seemingly was a very big moment in time. Not to say it isn't now, but the draft is now beginning to take the form of a place where a lot of transactions take place, and almost that thinking that, you know what, maybe we won't do anything here, but we might be more active at the draft. Are you surprised that we've seen that happen?
Not really. I don't think I'm surprised based on what I just mentioned. I think some people are making the decision that we, from a business standpoint, team standpoint, and credibility, all of those things, it's really important that we put our best foot forward here and do everything possible to give ourselves a chance to make the playoffs. We all know what that does, particularly for season ticket sales the next year, selling sponsorship, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So somebody may make the decision, which may surprise a lot of people, that they're not trading their UFA because they the players valuable to the team, and may or may not be the result of not making it if they move the guy out, particularly if it's for futures and not somebody coming back into the team that can help down the stretch. So it's changed so that to that extent, to answer your question, I think you're seeing a lot more of this done at the draft, and even then too at the draft, you really know you have a better idea potentially what you're looking at in the upcoming draft and what kind of a move you want to be able to make then. And the other thing that's happened more recently, I think, than years ago was you're still getting or have been getting value even after the season is over, before the contract actually expires, from other teams having interest in a possible UFA and not wanting him to go to the total open market and have a window of time where they may be able to sign him and not have to compete with everybody else.
Al Coates is our guest, and Al, appreciate your time this afternoon. I guess most importantly, we want to remind everybody that this Saturday with the Ottawa Senators in town, FedEx hooking up with the Calgary Flames, FedEx themselves making a $75,000 donation to the Skate to Great program, and $5,000 of that will go directly to the Comrie Sports Equipment Bank, which you are directly tied into. But as important as the money is, and that's one thing, we want to remind people, though, both in the morning at practice and if you're coming to the game, equipment. We can use gently used equipment right now to kind of top up the equipment bank, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And a big thank you to FedEx and the Calgary Flames, obviously, and other partners that I should be mentioning right now on the phone, that and people who simply make donations. It's really interesting, like I don't know, you got another minute or not, but we had somebody, about 6-7 months ago saying it was the goaltending equipment example where, the kid just didn't want to play anymore, didn't want to play goal at least, and he wanted to move out. So, the father donated the goaltending equipment to us and says, we really like the program that you guys are doing here. This is great, and made a cash donation over and above it. So, everybody wins. When you do these kinds of things, it's pretty neat. It's what Calgary's all about, quite frankly, I think, and we all know that. It's a great giving community for sure to help somebody else out.
Always good to talk to you, my friend. Thanks for doing this. We will see you soon. And again, big day on Saturday. We hope everybody supports it. Thanks, Al.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. Appreciate it.